Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Facebook Live with the TheraPlay family of companies. And we are so excited to have for a second time with us, Hillary Sussman, who is a phenomenal author. We're going to tell you about the book she's going to read in a minute. But wanted to first tell you a little bit about us in case this is your first time with us on Facebook Live. My name's Lori, and I am with the TheraPlay family of companies, and we provide physical, occupational, speech, and feeding services for children from birth to 21 in any environment that they can access the services throughout Pennsylvania, East Coast with the TheraPlay company, West Coast with Positive Steps Therapy out in the Pittsburgh area. We're also up in New Jersey and Princeton. We're in Delaware in 2 locations, and also in Virginia with the Children's Therapy Centers and Fleming Therapy Services. So we are so thrilled that we were able to connect with Hillary because her books have just such special meaning to us. We actually work with a lot of children that have very similar challenges to the dog Roxy, who is the character in her books. This is her second book that she has written in the Roxy series of books. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about Hillary before we get started. And then she is actually going to read her brand new second book that's just out on the market. So Hillary has been a physical therapist for 23 years. You'd never know it by looking at her.
Thank you.
And after working with so many clients with disabilities, she was inspired by her dog, Roxy, who has undergone 4 surgeries, to use her story to help kids who are different to gain more confidence and overcome their physical limitations. As I mentioned, this is her second book. Her first book, Roxy and Malibu, It's Okay to Be Different. It's a story about 2 lovable dogs with unique features who teach the important lessons of limb difference awareness, inclusion, kindness, and acceptance, which are all things with the children that we work with, that we work very hard on with them. In this new book, Roxy and Tully were together. Roxy teaches new lessons to raises awareness about prosthetics, how to handle bullying, which I know a lot of us have had children, maybe even have had personal experiences with bullying, and the importance of choosing words carefully and how they can impact others either positively or negatively. Hillary plans to continue writing additional books in the Adventure of Roxy series, where Roxy learns something new in each book, meets new friends, and teaches life lessons as she faces new challenges. She's originally from New York. She now lives in Pennsylvania, not far from us, with her husband, her 3 children, and of course, Roxy. And her hobbies include golf, exercise, traveling, and skiing. And I would just like to piggyback onto that. When Hillary and I first connected, this had an even more personal meaning for me because one of my grand doggies, Pogo, is also a 3-legged rescue dog that my son in Charleston is raising and doing a really nice job with. So Pogo doesn't know it yet, and hopefully Pogo's not listening to this, but Pogo will be getting this book for Christmas. So,
hey.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Hillary. And thanks again, Hillary, for helping us spread the word about these phenomenal books and the great messages.
Thank you, Lori. Thanks for having me, guys, and Jason and TheraPlay. It's so great to be back. It was awesome reading my first book, and this just came out right before Thanksgiving, so it literally just came out. So Roxy and Tully, Words Matter, is a continuation of Roxy's journey. In the first book, as Lori said, she loses her leg, she goes to the dog park, and she teaches another dog to gain confidence despite being different. So now this is her next adventure. So I'm going to read it. Roxy and Tully, Words Matter. I'll just show you the whole book. Okay. So when you get the book for your children, you can put in who it belongs to. Okay. Hi, my name is Roxy Rue. My new school is about to begin. I'm feeling very nervous and worried I won't fit in. My mom says, don't worry, wearing a prosthesis is okay. Tell that to all the others as they laugh and walk away. So here Roxy's sitting there. She doesn't want to go to school. And there's her new little prosthesis with the bones on it. And I'm sure with COVID, a lot of kids are nervous to go to school because they haven't been in a social environment for a while. And especially if you add the added stress of having a difference or wearing a prosthesis, I'm sure a lot of kids can relate to Roxy here. So here she says, I can hear them now, meowing and barking behind my back. I'm sure I will be sitting alone when it's time to have a snack. So Roxy, of course, is worried about sitting alone on the bus, sitting alone at lunch, not making a friend, which I think is very common with kids starting in school, going back to school, or especially if they have a visible difference, especially. When the first day came, I hid inside my crate, but my parents made me get on the bus. Roxy, you'll be late. I acted brave walking to class, my snout held in the air. I saw some chickens stare and cluck. I tried hard not to care. That day in math, I answered correctly. What is 2 + 2? I couldn't believe it when someone oinked. Great job, Roxy Roo. I looked behind my desk to see who'd been so kind. There she is. It was a friendly pig dressed in purple. Her name was Clementine. So someone was really nice to her, and that felt really good for Roxy. Clementine oinked, that bandana looks nice on you, because Roxy always wears a bandana. I barked, my favorite color is pink, and she oinked back, me too. Of course she loves pink because she's a pig. Then she oinked, I like your leg, Roxy, it's really cool. Thanks, it's called a blade. I was afraid to wear it to school. So here, Roxy could educate Clementine and the children reading the book that her prosthetic is called a blade. And a blade is very typically worn with kids and athletes. And then, a lot of kids who wear prosthetics have different ones, but a blade is common when they go to school. So that's a great way for kids to learn that terminology, embrace it. And it's just a great educational moment in this book. So then she says, don't worry, Roxy, she oinked, come eat lunch with us. I was so happy to make a friend after sitting alone on the bus. So Roxy did sit alone on the bus, and she was just so happy to be invited to sit with someone at lunch, as so many kids can relate to that. One friend and one person can change your whole day, right? At lunch, I ate my bone as a frog was eating a fly. But then the room went silent, and I couldn't believe my eyes. In walked a huge bull, looking tall, strong, and mean. He was the scariest bull my eyes had ever seen. So there he is. There's the bull coming in. They're all having lunch, happy. And then Roxy's like, who is that? I barked in a very low voice. Guys, who is that? Tully the bully, stay away from him, meowed an orange cat. As Tully walked towards our table, I felt very scared. He laughed at my blade, then stole my bone, and all the animals stared. So here's Roxy looking so sad because Tully walks right up, makes fun of her prosthesis, and steals her bone. Not nice. I sat there in shock, wanting to run home to my crate, but a nice bird shared her seeds, putting some on my plate. So one of her new friends was so nice, the bird gave her the seeds. Of course, that day at recess, it was just as I had feared. That's a silly looking leg, I heard so loud and clear. I turned around and saw Tully. As I looked him in the eye, I kept thinking to myself, Roxy Roo, please don't cry. So Roxy is petrified. She goes to the playground and Tully walks right up to her. And of course, she's a target because she's wearing a very visible prosthesis. And Tully makes fun of her leg and she doesn't know what to do. Right when I was about to bark, a funny thing came to be. My new friend Clementine tiptoed up and stood next to me. So right here, Clementine comes up to support her new friend. And this is where we introduce bystander intervention. And it's important now more than ever with bullying and what's going on in schools that children stand up for each other. And if they see it happening, that they walk up and support each other. So that's what Clementine is doing here. This made Tully angry and he started to bellow out, "Hey, Clementine, you have a funny looking snout." So now Tully makes fun of Clementine also. And look how little they are compared to him. They're both really scared. I looked over at Clementine. We both felt hurt and scared. Then something started to happen. We both were not prepared. All the animals joined us. And this is in like full face type. All the animals joined us. They flew, they walked, they hopped. After hearing Tully's words, they were ready for this to stop. So all the animals were like, we're done with this. This is enough. I told Tully that there was no need to be mean. The others agreed. They were sick of what they'd seen. I told him his words hurt us, and then I started to see that he was feeling sad by the way he looked at me. So it took all of these animals to stand with Clementine and Roxy, to stand up to Tully, for Tully to finally acknowledge why he's been doing what he's doing. So that's like a very powerful lesson for kids, that it really is important to stand up for each other. And you can see all these animals are not very happy right now. And now we get to see how Tully is feeling, and he starts to open up. Tully slowly looked down, and then we heard him moo. I didn't know how to make friends. Bullying was easier to do. I've never liked my horns, and I've always felt too tall. And I barked back, Tully, you don't have to feel ashamed at all. So as we find with so many bullies, unfortunately, a lot of the bullying comes from their own insecurities. They don't feel good about themselves. A lot of times they don't get positive reinforcement at home, and they take it out on everyone at school, and that's how they get their attention. Not for every bully, but it happens very often. So that's what this story is about. So this is really important here. The animals share with Tully why they feel insecure. And it teaches Tully that everyone feels insecure. So, "Ma," says the goat, "I don't like having a beard." Then the snake hissed, "I don't like being feared." Then the owl hooted, "It's hard being the smartest one." And then the bird chirped, "Wearing glasses is not that fun." So all the animals said, "Hey, Tully, we have things about ourselves that we don't like either. But all because you don't feel good about your horns and you think you're tall doesn't give you the right to be mean to us with your words." So that's the lesson here, that insecurity does not permit bullying. Tully finally understood that we all have felt this way. He learned that words can be hurtful and it matters what you say. And that's in boldface. That's an important lesson. We all agreed to forgive him and all could start again, that we could play together if he acted like a friend. So Tully was like regretful here. And he's like basically saying, "Hey, I'm sorry." And all the animals basically said to him, "We're going to forgive you if you start treating us with respect like we deserve." So this is where Tully apologizes to all the animals. I don't know if you can see everything. So he said, "Sorry for teasing me and stealing the bone off my plate." He said, "Sorry to the frog for making fun of the flies he ate." He said, "Sorry to the snake for taking his lunch money." He said, "Sorry to telling Clementine her snout looked funny." He said, "Sorry to the cat for saying she wasn't good at sports." He said, "Sorry to the mouse for teasing her that she is short." He said, "Sorry for the turtle for teasing him for losing the race." He said, "Sorry to the rest of us," with sadness on his face. So it was really nice that Tully went around and talked to all the animals that he had bullied, and he apologized to all of them. And the things that he bullied them about are very typical things that kids get bullied for. So it's great here to have a dialogue with your kids about, what do people make fun of people for being short, for being tall, for wearing glasses. So that's this opens up that kind of dialogue in this section. And then, of course, Tully looked at me and bellowed, "Thanks for giving me a chance today." I barked, "No problem, Tully, but be careful of the words you say." We promised to stop calling him Tully the bully. Then he smiled at all of us. He shook my paw, the animals cheered, and we all got on the bus. So they all decided, "We're going to forgive you." And Tully's like, "I'm going to be kind." And it all worked out. A perfect world, right? After school, I told my parents what happened with the bully, the lesson he learned, and now guess what? I have a new friend, Tully. That night I lay awake in my crate, happy as can be. I couldn't wait to get on the bus with Tully sitting next to me. So there they are, all friends. Roxy's wearing her prosthesis and they're all friends with Tully. And guess what? You know what? Tully is not a bully anymore. And now he has a bunch of new friends. So that's another lesson. Like if you figure this all out together, that, you know, the bully doesn't have to be a bully and that you guys can all be friends. And at the end of the book, there's book discussion questions that you can go over with your classroom, with your students, with your kids. And then there's just, that's about it. That's the end of the book. You guys still there?
Yes, yes. Great, Hillary. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We also thought it might be important to let everyone know too about all the activities that go along with the book as well. Your website is chock full of fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
And especially.
You want me to go over that?
Sure, especially now as we're getting into the winter time and you're looking for more fun things to do.
Yeah. So for the first, if you go online, all you have to do is go to adventuresofroxy.com and click activities, and you can print these out for your classroom, for your kids. You know, the first book has coloring pages, so you'll see activities for both books. The new book has, I like this one because it teaches kids about the word prosthesis. And so this is Design Roxy's Prosthesis. So I think it's important for this one, for kids with or without a difference, to learn this word, to internalize this word. And, you know, next time they're on a playground, or let's say they're in a supermarket, they see someone wearing a prosthesis, which now is all over the media, more so than ever. It's just going to be normal to them, more normal. And hey, I know what that is. Put it on your fridge and bring that word into your life for limb loss awareness. There's crossword puzzles, there's who said what, because for this book, there's so many quotes in the new book, and it's really important with your kids when you talk about who said what, that brings them back into the book and talking about why did this animal say this, and it brings all that discussion back. There's fill in the blanks, word scrambles. So between both books, there's about 15 activities total. And they're all educational, fun, but they all do reinforce the messages of the book, of both.
Oh, that's fantastic. And also just a little pitch, your books are available on Amazon, right?
They are. And my website is probably you can go to Amazon, of course, if you're an Amazon person, but you can go to my website. They're there too. And then I have my dog, the three-legged Roxy. We just got these. And there's a special, I can send you both books and a Roxy. I send the Roxys out. So they're on my website.
Oh, okay.
I'll write out to you. So
awesome. That's fantastic. So any thoughts? So can you give us any hints about what you're thinking about for book number 3?
I have ideas for book 3. But I don't know if it will come to fruition. But I would like to do something with like a birthday party. And I would like to bring in character, like an animal that's wearing like the wheelchair, for the back legs, because I'm working with a lot of course, human prosthetic companies and orthotics, but also pet braces and I think that's important industry as well to bring into the story. Now that Roxy's wearing prosthesis, I'd like to bring a new character in that's wearing like another animal wearing a brace or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
That would be fantastic. I know
Yeah.
A lot of the children that come to see us would definitely relate to that as well. So
yeah,
that would be great. Well, we will be sharing this. We will have this on YouTube. Please, anyone that's watching us now, feel free to share with your community. And we're really, really grateful, Hillary, for you to come and read this book to us. It's got such a powerful message, and it's all about kindness, and you're bringing that to a level where children can really relate to it. So we are very grateful for you and for
thank you.
And we will look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thank you. I just want to say for the age of the book, touch on that. I basically say 3 to, I don't know, 10 or 12, because you really can't put an age on it, right? Like the little kids obviously will love the pictures and maybe they won't get the deeper concept. But older kids, I think these are concepts that can go. I mean, my daughter's in high school and all her girlfriends are in the car. They're like, we all need that book, and they're in school. So I think that the lessons are really ageless, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to give that information.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And you can actually span up to, so I have a 27-year-old who's going to be reading to his doggy. So
exactly.
good
You
for
read your dog too. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, great. Well, thank you again. And we hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. And we will look forward, Hillary, to seeing you again real soon. All right.
Thank you guys and happy holidays.
Thank you.